guarding man-to-man, but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And your favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
It's like the games like we play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks when they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did. So I got 3 sacks on them. I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. I am with my comrades here in the War Room. We've got Caleb, the Chargers fan, the Shoviks, Chiefs, and Broncos fan. Of course, me, Cody, being Raider Nation fan. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys are watching. And also, don't forget to follow us on all the social medias. We have our very own TikTok live Instagram influencer, Corey. What's up, man? You've been killing it on the lives. You're bringing in a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, again, the new faces, and we obviously love all the returners, right? But the new faces, like even tonight, a couple of the new people that were in there, just love that they're able to come in. They said they found a random live when they're talking ball with someone who's hosting a TikTok live. So yeah, I mean, again, that's why we're doing it. And I just want to say how freaking spoiled we are over here. We got the baseball game on over our shoulder, and then 2 other TVs that we're gonna have throughout. So Cody, not so hot for the Giants on opening night here.
I just sat down as I'm still in my work clothes, so I'm sure I'll catch up to it. But
nothing to catch up on, I promise you.
It's 5-0 already.
Oh my God. All right, here we go. Austin, you're sporting a very different polo today, sir. What you got on?
I am. I got a pre-made or like a custom-made West War Room polo.
Okay.
Big old logo on the back too. But this will be what I'm golfing in when I go to Arizona in May to golf with Garrett Bowles and that whole charity event. So kind of just going to be a walking advertisement for our podcast.
I know. It feels like we need to have sold some shirt space on there for you.
I used everything that it allowed me to.
Yeah, he's got his left boobie still, or right boobie still open. So if anyone wants to buy Austin's right boobie, it's
oh, it is my right boobie. That I was backwards on that. I'm like, dude, come on.
you're like right or left.
But it's big old design on the back with everything. So that's what people are going to be seeing the most of, like when I'm teeing off and everything. And I'm out driving everyone, so they're all going to be seeing behind me anyway.
Is there anyone that's going to live stream like you on the clubs? And we got to at least see you in action. We can't just assume you went there.
Everyone keeps saying that. Yeah, we'll get some I don't know about live stream. We can get some videos.
A little TikTok live action.
We need it for the content. You must do it now.
Exactly. Some of those like Bob Does Sports. Can I finish 12 tacos in 9 holes?
Are you doing the 18 holes, 18 beers and hot dogs or whatever the challenge is?
Dude, no, absolutely not.
It's already gonna be hot.
It's gonna be so hot. Give me 18 waters.
There you go. Caleb, what's new, man? How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
It's going good, man. Going good. Yeah, I'm excited for today. Talk to the Chargers actually signed someone today, so I'm excited. He's no big name, nothing like that. A little backup piece, but I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point.
It's depth at this point. So shout out to everyone in the comments. Please leave a comment, drop a hashtag be a fan, because of course season 2 is all about being a fan. So let's get to the first segment, you guys. So we just found out that Seattle will actually kick off the season on a Wednesday, not a Thursday, a Wednesday. And it's Seattle versus a team to be announced. So I think we're just going to go around and guess what team we think is going to play Seattle on Wednesday, and that is because the Niners and Rams are playing in Melbourne, Australia on the 10th. So that is a scheduling thing. So, Austin, who do you think Seattle's going to face on the 9th?
First of all,
there should just be one answer on this, and I think it should be unanimous.
Cardinals.
No.
Well, Niners and Rams are playing the next day, so why not just knock that division out real quick?
Well, I'll let me ask you first, so I'll let you go.
I mean, can we just talk about the nonsense of starting it on a Wednesday? Like,
you're gonna have football Wednesday, Thursday. I'm sure they're gonna come out and just say, "F it, we're gonna go Friday too."
I'm sure that's what they did last year.
If they add the 19th or 18th week or whatever they want to do, they're probably going to do like Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, doubleheader on Monday as they normally do. Just absolutely.
No, I agree, but it's like, I don't know. That just seems we're pushing it too much. But if I'm being honest, I think it'll be it'll be a big time, either rivalry game or like marquee matchup. So, it's going to be like Denver. It's going to be Kansas City. It's going to be someone like that for them to open up against.
All right. So Corey, why don't you go ahead? Apparently you think you know what it's going to be.
It's Kansas City. They're not going to have their show boy, their model of the NFL not play on opening night if they get a chance. It just matches up too well. The AFC and NFC West play this year. What better way to have than, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs revamped, energized, new OC, Super Bowl champs against the previous Super Bowl champs, or 2 years ago. Sorry, Eagle fans.
According to your Broncos Twitter people, so they can ease the Chiefs back in. Chiefs are going to start with the Dolphins, the Jets.
Sounds about right.
Some of these
guys. Might as well throw the Raiders in there too.
Yeah,
the checks must have cleared on that week for sure.
4 to 5 cupcakes, so Mahomes can get like the rust knocked off. So I'm okay opening that night. Test us right away.
All right, Caleb, who do you think is going to fill in that matchup against Seattle?
So I think it's going to be the Chiefs too, but if it's not, I'm kind of leaning towards the Bears. If it's some other random team, because they had a really good season last year, they met in the playoffs or whatever, and then
I think they met in the NFC. No, they actually didn't meet in the playoffs.
No, they didn't meet in the playoffs. Never mind.
Yeah,
disregard that. That's right.
That'd be an interesting matchup, though. Ben Johnson against Mike McDonald, especially defensive-minded head coach. That'd be interesting.
And they are on their schedule. I looked it up just to make sure. They are on their future opponents list. So we'll see how it goes.
So I'm going to throw a dart out there, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I actually would make a case that, and again, I'm not saying this would be the greatest brand of football, but I would make a case that the Raiders might be their matchup on Wednesday. Here's why. It is not a Thursday night. It is not a Sunday night. It's not a Monday night football game. It's Wednesday. They're supposed to play. You have Clint Kubiak, who has all this hype coming in the Raiders, going against his former team that he helped win a Super Bowl in Seattle. You have all these new free agents and Fernando Mendoza. I think Wednesday opening night will be a matchup with the Raiders and Seattle Seahawks, just based on the little trinkets of all that. Like, they're going to want to test Seattle's defense. They're going to want to test Mendoza with that defense. I think
Seattle's defense with what?
I just think that that's the matchup that the NFL is going to want to put. Wednesday Night Football, we can agree, like, it is not going to be a crowd pleaser. There's no team that they can book that is going to make it as entertaining as Niners and Rams. We can agree on that, right? So I just think, like, the Raiders kind of fit, like, what the storyline is, what the NFL likes to do for matchups and their opponents. That's why I would say the Raiders on Wednesday, that opening day against Seattle, would be more likely than the Chiefs.
Bless your heart, Cody. Don't do this to yourself already.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart, man.
I'm just saying. I think that's more plausible than the Chiefs.
Still have a ways to go before they're relevant to get a primetime game to open up the season.
I don't even think that Wednesday game is that big of a primetime game. It's not like they're doing Monday Night Football.
It's the NFL opening game.
I don't think
that's massive.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could put it on a Tuesday
at 1 p.m.
Yeah, and they're still going to pull numbers because it's the NFL, and we literally were just talking about this before we came on the show tonight. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. There's going to be a time where they're going to have a game basically 7 nights a week just to start the season off. That's the direction the NFL is going. They're going to put that shit on Tubi or Fubu, and they're still going to get like 20 million people to watch this stuff. So
I still think I'm standing on it that I think it'll be the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying
I know. I get
to do that to yourself right away.
Listen, I think you guys are confused. I think you guys are confusing that I want that as like a hype thing for me. I'm just more or less saying, like, that's just what I think the schedule is going to be. I'm not saying I'd agree with it. I'm not saying that I want to even see that. I'm just saying, like, that to me makes more sense than the Chiefs, who, Mahomes may not even be ready week 1. I'm sure he will be, but if he's not, they may give him an extra week. Do you think
next week?
What?
Do you see him today?
Okay.
Bro, he'd be suiting up next week.
I'm not trying to say that I'm on the level of Mahomes, but I've had ACL surgery. You can do things on it like 6 weeks or however many weeks he's been post-surgery. It is like, it's a great feat, but if he's squatting 500 pounds, show me that. And then
Mahomes at 75% would be way better than what Mendoza would be week 1 on the road.
Agreed. I'm not arguing that. God, you guys are
10%. So what are we going to do when it's like the Falcons against the Seahawks?
Not watch, I suppose.
Yeah,
watch
Just some random. Like, we're gonna watch.
We need to find a way to put some. We need to find a way to put some like stakes on it, like if well, that too. We got to find a way to put some sort of wager on it where it's like, okay, if it is the Chiefs or if it is the Raiders or another team, then we all kind of just split it. But we got to find a way to put something interesting on it because, I mean, I think one way, you guys think of it another way. I think that would be interesting to spark that up.
I mean, it's possible, but now getting to why it won't be the 49ers or Rams that they're playing opening Wednesday, because on Thursday night, the next night, the Rams and 49ers are playing in Melbourne, Australia.
Isn't that weird? They're actually going to be playing on a Friday.
Right.
In Australia, yeah.
It's going to be playing in the future.
Yeah, they're going to be playing in the future. So I like this matchup. I think it's cool. I think it's great that they're actually sending good competition over to Australia. I know there's some crazy fans over in that neck of the woods. And I'm sure the UK sitting back like, what the hell, man? Like,
Jets.
We're getting the Jets, the Jag. Like, you guys couldn't send us the 49ers and Rams or like the Seahawks or somebody over to the UK. So I will say that this matchup's more intriguing to me than the Seattle opener. Like, it's not that I hate Seattle. I just don't care about Seattle. And if it ends up being the Chiefs and the Seahawks, like, I think it'll just be a fantasy purpose night for me, probably more than likely. But interesting to get your guys' thoughts on the 49ers and Rams opening on the actual Thursday night.
Caleb, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this game. Like Corey said, I won't really have much going for me in that game, other than my fantasy team most likely. But I'm excited for it. You know, it's the first weekend of football, and it's a great matchup. You know, we get to see what Mike Evans does with the 49ers and the Rams do reloaded. So I'm excited for it, man. New revamped defense for the Rams. I'm pretty excited.
Rugby style.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. I think first game of the year and it being international, there might be a little bit of sloppiness to start it out. But in the end, it's two great teams. I think they're getting this. They want to get at least one of these matchups early before the 49ers are all on the injured list. So hoping to get a 100% matchup between them. Again, not hoping any of them are injured, but we're rolling up on like a decade plus of the Niners just being that way. So, it's going to be a great matchup. I don't think it matters who Seattle plays. This game will be better than whoever Seattle plays.
Watch it be like a 9-6 field goal game because these teams are
so over there.
Yeah, I guess so. I like this matchup way more than Seattle. I agree with that. I'm actually curious on, and I think too, like the Rams who basically signed all of the Chiefs cornerbacks. I'm curious on if the Rams are going to be like, if they're going to be the true Super Bowl contenders, and if the Niners basically with what they've done, is this also going to put them on the map? Because I feel like these two teams are heading on a collision where we might see, obviously they're going to have a second divisional matchup, but will we see them again in the playoffs? And I think this is a really good start to the story of that. So this will be very entertaining. I hope it's high scoring. I hope it's not a ugly game where it's like no rhythm in offense, no defensive prowess at all. I just want it to be one of those snooze fests where it's like, I can't believe I stayed up for this game. So that's the only thing I'm hoping with these matchups, because I'm never a fan of the international games.
Kind of like every Raiders game.
Well, I mean, the plus side of this is at least we're not getting up at 8, 6. Like these are, I think it's like 7:30 our time. I think both nights actually. So, I'd be very curious as long as Puka's got to quit being a freak this offseason, man.
I'm surprised he's still like not like locked up or something, because he's doing some weird shit.
He's doing some weird stuff, and again, we're not going to get too deep into that, but I mean, if I'm his boy, I'm checking in on him a little bit because he's not heading down the right path. So. That's the opening segment as far as talking about opening night. Obviously, Wednesday, Thursday this year. We got the boys' thoughts on that. So again, if you're new in here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're at 415 subscribers right now here on YouTube. So again, this is awesome. We can't thank you guys enough, as we are hoping to get to 500 before we get to the draft, which we're live streaming, and we'll talk more about that later. But I do have some league questions here as we head into segment 2. Old Dirty Joe. Dirty Joe's back in Cincinnati. Cody, that's a quarterback, and I was more excited to talk to you about this one because that was obviously a name that the Raiders were kind of monitoring. And he's back to Cincy. So give us your thoughts on one, him signing there, and two, where's that kind of leading the Raiders?
I'm fine with him signing with Cincy. Honestly, I'm surprised that I think what I see Joe Flacco doing is he's trying to find a spot where he can still be at least involved in starting somewhere or being like an intricate part. I don't think the Raiders need anything of that nature. They really legit just need a backup who's okay, like helping mentor the starter being Mendoza. And honestly, like I could see if the Raiders passed on him or weren't interested because, for all intents and purposes, hopefully Mendoza stays healthy throughout the season. But it's not like we're in a position like Cincy is where maybe Joe Burrow gets out and you want to stay competitive in that division. Let's plug in Flacco and he can keep us afloat like he did when he was traded over there. The Raiders aren't going to be in that position. And I think I've been telling you guys, I feel like Kirk Cousins would fit better with the Raiders and as a mentor aspect for Mendoza. And I texted you guys this the other day, and we're kind of going to go on a side tangent. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I would not be surprised because I've seen Aaron Rodgers names all over ESPN all of a sudden, like now he's back. There's a lot of questions if he's going to go with the Steelers now with Mike McCarthy. And I'm now like worried that there'll be ripples of like, hey, would be willing to join Raider Nation to help mentor Mendoza just so that way he stays relevant. But for the Raiders, like I'm kind of glad Flacco's going off to Cincy. And I feel like we already have an idea of who we're going to go for backup. I think we're just we're doing everything else around before we hit to that point. So,
well, I'd like to think they're not bringing these guys in to back up Mendoza. So I want to get that out there. They're going to, like, Kirk Cousins isn't going to come in just to back up Mendoza. Kirk Cousins would come in to start for at least the year. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to come back up Fernando Mendoza. He's going to start. So kind of give me your initial thoughts on the Flacco back to, Cincy. And I know you really don't care about what that means for the Raiders, but maybe your thoughts on Joe Flacco back to the Bengals.
Yeah, Carolina. I mean, Flacco's better than Mendoza. I've always been a Dirty Joe guy. Always have, always will be. And it surprises me that like a team like the Jets or Cardinals or something wouldn't take a flyer on a dude like this. Because he doesn't have mobility. He's not the same dude he was, but like at the very least, he's going to be way more entertaining to watch than Geno Smith. He's going to be way cheaper than Geno Smith. You know what I mean? But I like Joe Flacco. I heard his press conference where he's like, I can't believe teams weren't giving me a shot to be the guy. And I'm like,
it's not that far fetched.
No competitive team is going to do that. And
Joe,
like,
it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, like, you are awesome. I still think you're a top tier backup because you can still fling the rock, man. Like, you can do that. I think it's a perfect spot for him. He'll, again, going off history, we don't actually wish injury on anybody. But as history serves, you're going to get a few spot starts in the season for the Bengals as a backup quarterback.
Caleb?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much thoughts on this either, really. But I do want to propose one question to Cody.
Oh, shit.
How would you feel about Mr. Let's Ride, Dangerous, baby?
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited.
Stay away from Las Vegas, man. No.
Didn't he want to come to Vegas not too long ago?
He did. He's still campaigning to come to Vegas. We'll pass. Thank you. No.
I was
Thank you.
campaigning to go everywhere, and they're all just like.
I remember when it was rumored that Chiefs might want him as a backup, and I'm like, dude, give me anyone else. Just go.
And they did. They went Justin Fields.
Yeah,
we're going to trade.
I would have gone Justin Fields before Wilson. And I don't know, like, this is a question for everybody. Like, what happened to Wilson that he's essentially like no one wants him on any of their football teams? Super Bowl winner, but can't play quarterback all of a sudden. So
he's got little PP energy, man. Like he thinks he's the shit and he's not. Like, cool, man. You won a Super Bowl. Cool. You did this. Little PP energy is not going to win you a locker room. And he went downhill when he went to Denver because he flaunted the
private office,
the BDE, the baby dick energy. That's what Russell Wilson has, and I can see why teams don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
Not anymore. I mean, 10 years ago when he was prime Seattle, he would have flaunted it and he would have been fine. But Everyone sees the antics he does every season, every offseason, every training camp. Why would you want that in your locker room, especially if you're the Raiders and you're drafting a rookie quarterback? Tom Brady already has a huge enough ego as it is. There's no way that Russell Wilson's going to come in and even that would be a disaster.
I think Tom Brady would sell his ownership stake to be the backup quarterback before he signed Russell Wilson to back up the Raiders. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But Caleb, you're sitting at a position of ease though, because you got your heir to the throne in Trey Lance sitting behind Justin Herbert when he can't get it done. So
QB controversy.
Actually, we all have 2 quarterbacks, and Raiders are over here with 0.
We have 0. Yeah, no, we still have Aiden O'Connell. We still have the legend himself, AOC.
The legend himself.
He's the only true Raider left.
Well, he win that starting spot.
And signed with the Falcons tonight. So
what are they doing in that quarterback?
I have no idea. But moving on here. So again, we heard the news over earlier this week, and I think it was the weekend. AJ Brown puts his house up for sale. He lists his house. So again, can we just sit here and say that he's going to be a Patriot in June?
I don't know. They signed his best friend.
Who's his best
that's
friend?
True. Elijah Moore.
Yeah. He helped him get through their college teammates.
Yeah, they played at Ole Miss together.
Like, I think you only make that move
to
try to make AJ Brown a little happier.
Mm-hmm.
It's a confusing move because you're only going to make that move if it's for AJ Brown. So I don't know. I mean, I still think it's likely, but that move came out at the same time he listed his house for sale. So I was like, I don't know. I was torn, but I don't know.
You can't have this kind of offseason and keep him, right, Cody?
All I'm going to say is no one hates AJ Brown being with the Eagles more than AJ Brown that he's on the Eagles. So like, I feel like we've talked about this before where like the worst kept secret is he's either going to the Patriots or he's going somewhere else. And I think you guys would agree, like all signs are pointing to the Patriots. It's just like like maybe draft day, maybe day after or whatever, but like he's going to be on the New England Patriots. I feel like this is heading that way. There is no reports that I'm hearing of like AJ's fine, like him and Jalen have spent time together. None of that. Like this could not be any sloppier of a divorce, and feels like the worst kept secret in the NFL.
Caleb?
Yeah, so my thoughts on this are I think he gets traded on draft night to the Patriots. I kind of agree with you, Cody. The reason why, I mean, that's where the Eagles traded for him before. He still has some value at this point, a little bit of trade value before he starts to hit the backswing of his career. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do, but I could see them trading him on draft night, get a pick or 2 out of him, player swap, something along those lines. But I do see him going to the Patriots for sure.
Yeah,
I wonder if Vrabel's son will be taking a dump on draft night like he was the first time.
That is hilarious.
So what pick does the Patriots have in the first round?
31st.
So do we think it's going to take a first rounder to get Brown, you think?
Yeah, I mean, they'll still get a first round out of him, I think.
Plot twist.
They were asking for 2 picks and a player, 1 first at least.
That price will come down as we get closer to the draft, I believe.
I'll give him 29, 146, and Rashee Rice.
Shit.
It's not bad. I think what may happen is on the day of the draft, we may see that happen. So that way the Eagles may use that 31st pick in a package, maybe to come up to get I don't know if they want to focus on defense or maybe find a offensive weapon, but I could see them making that deal on draft night to put themselves up and then go from there. But yeah, AJ Brown hates being in Philadelphia. I think that's been well documented, and all this gaslighting they're giving us to say that like, no, it's fine. Bullshit. No, it is. They hate each other.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And I don't know if there's any other team that's not the Patriots that get him. So,
it'd have to be a surprise team that is going to blow them away.
The Raiders give him Max Crosby straight up.
That would not do anything for the Raiders, nor that would help out the Eagles a lot.
Speaking of a receiver that the Raiders could look at, OBJ looking pretty healthy in that flag football game, showing some circus catches. Reports were that several teams have reached out to OBJ, and he's willing to do some workouts and willing to come back. Caleb, does OBJ come back, and maybe who do you think should keep their eye on OBJ?
So I do think he comes back. I wouldn't be surprised if my team, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, he's familiar with McDaniel. Ortiz obviously has Ravens ties. That's where he was a longtime assistant GM, was with the Ravens. So I could definitely see us getting him. It depends on the price of the deal and that kind of thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of keep our eye on him for a little cheap last second thing after rookie minicamp and that kind of thing. They're going to see what we have. That would be my assumption. But I mean, I could see plenty of other teams too. I mean, the Ravens, they still need some guys. You name it. I mean, there's plenty of places he could fit, but those are the two that I have in mind.
Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, I would love him on the Chiefs. I'll take any damn receiver at this point, honestly. But I do think he'll come back, but I think he's going to go somewhere like the Rams. He's going to go back to the Rams. Kind of, again, we don't know where Puka and his path is leading, or if it's leading anywhere, whatever. But I think he's going to go somewhere where he's familiar. He's not going to have to be the guy, but he's still going to have a chance to be competitive. Chargers do fit that bill. He's not going to come in and need to be their receiver one. Chiefs, although he could probably talent-wise be their receiver one, he's not going to be asked to do that. So I think he's going to have his choices of where he wants to go, because he obviously, receivers are a thing. Like, every team wants him, and if you even get a little run of semi-prime Odell, it's going to be worth the value. I think he'll have his choice where he wants to go, and it really just depends where he ends up wanting to go.
If you're watching on YouTube, put it in the chat where you think OBJ could end up. Cody, is this another one that the Raiders could possibly look at? I
mean, honestly, like, we kind of have a pretty, like, and I'm not going to say stacked. We have a very full receiving room. I'm going to
hold to earth here, Cody.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, reel me
stacked. We're stacked.
We're so stacked with Besh and all them guys. No, I think the receiver room is full at this point for the Raiders. I mean, I think Odell's not going to choose the Raiders because he's going to want to go to a team that might be more likely to use him, and maybe a team that's a little bit further along in contention. Like, the Raiders bringing him in maybe for like competition, but I don't know if like Clint Kubiak is going to make him a focal point of the offense, whereas the other receivers like a Trey Tucker's already there. Besh, like I had mentioned, Thornton maybe get more involved, but like Bengals to me, and I text this to you guys, I think the Bengals with Joe Burrow, because they actually had some pretty good chemistry during this game. I feel like that would make a lot of sense. An NFC team, kind of a wild card I'm throwing out there.
Kind of sitting back like we're so dry.
It's like, have you ever seen those memes on Facebook or social media where it's like a dirty fan that's nonstop running, and it shows like my fan after running for 25 years straight? That would be the Bengals defense. Just like, boss, help me out. I'm tired, boss.
Straight undrafted guys.
That's right. The only other team I can see that may reach out for OBJ would be the Packers. I think that'd be an area where like he can help that receiver room. He can probably be involved. I feel like, Jordan Love could use a guy of like OBJ if he still has prime OBJ left in him and he can be productive. I feel like he could give some pretty good production. So Packers would be like an NFC team I can see like maybe sneaking in to sign him for maybe a value pick.
So we talked recently about Raiders maybe bringing in like a veteran receiver. Not saying if they will or they won't bring in OBJ, but would you be okay if he was a veteran receiver the Raiders brought in? Yeah,
I love OBJ. I would love if the Raiders did feel like that he's got enough left to be productive. I'm totally fine with OBJ. Actually, I saw a report and I wanted to take a jab at you, Caleb. I saw that Keenan Allen is between Chargers and Raiders. I'd actually want Keenan Allen over OBJ just because I want to have your Chargers on my team. So that's all. But I would love OBJ, short answer.
That's wild to think of Keenan as a Raider. And I'm not even a Chargers person.
There's no way
they would burn his jersey for sure if he signed with the Raiders.
I got two teams for OBJ. Look at Giants. In with the Giants. I do like the Rams. But then I'm gonna kind of like a dark horse, maybe a wild card would be look at like the Vikings, just as someone who could use like they have Jordan Addison, they have obviously Justin Jefferson, but they could look for that slot guy. They lost obviously Naylor, who's now a Raiders legend. So
part of that stacked room.
Yeah, I would look at the Giants, and then I would even throw maybe the Bills just to kind of see.
Yeah, Bills would be an interesting one.
So if I drop it down to 2, I would go Giants or Bills, with the dark horse being the Vikings.
You don't think the Broncos would be in the market? I mean, they just brought another receiver on.
If we didn't just make the trade, then yeah, I would say maybe. But no, I think the receiver room's set as far as where that goes. But I think OBJ can come in and help a team that's really close. So
yeah.
And then the Giants, like what better way to, help a young quarterback than giving them, a guy who has for sure hands. So, and I think the nostalgia of having OBJ back in New York would, bring a little life to the fan base too. So that's,
you could play that little Wandale role that's now open. Just quick, sure hands.
Exactly. So again,
him with Scattaboo and Dart, that would be weird. That'd be an interesting trio. That'd be an interesting 4-man team.
Yeah. So again, we'll see. We'll keep our eye on OBJ again. Look good, look healthy in the flag football game. But they realize that they can't. Flag football is a little different than the old tackle game, as the pros obviously got their ass beat. So moving on. So I only put this on here just because it's hilarious. One, Falcons signed Brian Robinson, and then the caption here on our notes, I said, "I'll be careful in fantasy football when you're drafting. Make sure you're drafting the right B. Robinson from Atlanta." Because there's a couple videos out there from last year where a couple of the guys felt really good drafting B. Robinson first overall.
Oh, yeah.
And then zoom in on it, and it says Brian Robinson Commanders. And then he's like, that's not who it's on the board. So no takebacks.
Hopefully it'll be you won't have to worry about it after about 2 picks max.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but make sure if you have that first or second pick, it's the correct B. Robinson if you search. We had a cousin who drafted
AJ Brown when AJ Brown's rookie year, I believe.
Who did he mean to draft?
Antonio Brown.
Oh yeah, he meant to draft the Antonio Brown, but drafted AJ Brown, which obviously ended up working out.
It ended up being fine, yeah.
Yep.
So quick fantasy story. We had a guy in our league. He didn't know that Andrew Luck had retired the night of our draft. And we try, and he's a diehard Colts fan. He hadn't heard the news yet. And I think he had like the 5th pick or something. And at the time, Andrew Luck was really highly rated. He would have gone first round. And so we tried to go all the way up to draft night without telling him. And then the ESPN broke the news and he saw the TV at just the right moment. And we were like, oh, shit. Like, no, he didn't get him after all.
He retired right after our draft because someone did, I believe, I don't think he was a keeper, but I think he drafted Andrew Luck. And it was maybe a day later, actually.
No, it was the same day because Lamar Miller also got a season-ending injury in the preseason game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was both those people were drafted by the same person. So like within an hour of the draft ending, he already had a running back and quarterback just gone.
Okay, hold on. I have a fantasy question now that we're on this. Okay, what is the funniest first overall pick that you guys have ever seen in a league that you're in?
We don't really have funny.
We don't really have funny ones.
It's always a running back.
I can confidently say that we actually play in a league of people who actually know what they're doing. Unfortunately, it makes the $100 buy-in a little tougher. Because then we watch other people do their drafts and we're like, how the hell did you guys do that? I was like, I wish we played with idiots like that.
How did you get Bijan Robinson in round 13? Like, what?
That is wild.
And that's not at all. So if any of our fantasy guys are watching, that's not, you guys still suck ass. Like, we don't like you guys.
I did see, so I was in one. I don't know how crazy it is. It wasn't like any kind of crazy league, anything like that, just a standard normal PPR league, whatever. But they drafted Jalen Hurts first overall.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa! Which he does score a lot of points. He
does get touchdowns
in a double QB lineup. Yeah, that would be killer. But so I can't remember how many seasons ago we had one of our cousins. It was his first time doing fantasy football. We tried to explain to him how to play. Like, here's your strategy. Like, we actually tried setting him up for success, and it was he had the first overall pick, randomized and everything. And he chooses the Carolina Panthers defense first overall.
Hell yeah.
Savage.
And we all were like, what just happened? And
of course, we did have a cousin who wanted Alex Smith in the first round.
Yeah. I'll say, and it's me, so I feel comfortable saying it. It wasn't first overall, but way back in the day, I did draft like Justin Tucker in like the 8th round.
Oh, okay.
No, that's still way too high for a kicker.
It absolutely is, but okay, that's fine.
I will say
it tracks for someone like you, Austin. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but it definitely tracks. Like, you would seem like a guy that goes kicker 8th or 9th round.
Well, I can't say my team name on here, but it's one of those where I had to have Justin Tucker.
That's fair.
So I did draft all my other starters, and then I drafted a kicker before getting to the bench because I really had to make sure I had Justin Tucker on my team.
The very last thing I want to say is the only weird or one that I had that was kind of bad was Christian McCaffrey, and then he was out the whole season. That one kind of hurt me.
Well, I mean, I can sit here. 2 years ago, I had 10th pick, right? So I was back-to-back picks, and I went Saquon and Nick Chubb. I lost Saquon, and then like a week later, Nick Chubb. I felt real good about my team because, you know, those two guys, but that's neither here nor there. But again, I like the fantasy football talk, and we'll dive way deeper into fantasy football season as we get closer to that. So again, if you're new in here, guys, please continue to subscribe to the channel. Again, we see some comments in there. So I'm going to just quickly, Denver is hosting Eli Stowers for a top 30 visit. So Eli Stowers was obviously on my big board. I'm not sure at 63 yet, but as we get going, we'll start posting more about our team's top visits and where they're going. This next question, though, was kind of first comment is Caleb, Chargers are unlikely to trade QJ. Your thoughts on that one first?
Yeah, I've seen that. I keep going back and forth because he's going to be they're either going to have to pick up his 5th-year option or he's going to be a free agent after next season. So I'm curious to see what they do, but I'm not surprised.
And then this next one is more for Caleb and Austin. Cody, you and I can still kind of give our thoughts on this as well. But obviously, it sounds like Tyreek's down to 2 teams. I can't confirm or who the source was on that, but just what we're seeing is Tyreek's down to the Chargers and the Chiefs. I want each one of you to make your case why it's going to be your team. Caleb, your team finished better in the division, so I'll let you go first.
So obviously he has familiarity with Mike McDaniel, and then he's not going to have to come in and be the number one guy immediately. Like, he can ease his way in. Obviously, he would be the number one guy if he's playing at full speed, but we've got Ladd, and Quentin actually had his best career year last year. So I think that kind of fits him really well, and we kind of need his play style. We don't have anyone with his type of play, that speedy guy, small. He can break some long runs after the catch, that kind of thing. I think he'd be a good fit. He's already, I would assume, be very familiar with the offense. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well,
yours should be pretty quick. Super Bowls, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid.
He's more familiar with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and all of that. And I think he still wants to go somewhere where he is going to kind of be that guy. That fits most receivers, right?
Sure.
But to me, if the Chiefs offer him, he's going to Kansas City. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Especially with bringing EB back. It sounds weird as the running backs coach that he was before, that all of our tight ends and receivers and like everyone just loves EB. I actually think that's a huge reason Travis Kelce came back. I think it would have been a lot tougher for Kelce to decide if we didn't get EB. So I just think the familiarity, Patrick Mahomes, and I still think he wants to go somewhere where he will be kind of that guy still. Once he's healthy.
Cody, are you going to make a case for the Raiders or?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if the Raiders are a destination that benefits Tyreek, because from what it sounds like, he wants to go somewhere where there's an opportunity, one, to play significant time and get significant snaps, and also be on a relevant contender within the division if he's settling on the AFC West. Like, I don't think the Raiders are going to fit that. More or less, I think Tyreek Hill's options are, does he want to go to a place that he knows he's had previous success, or does he want to go to somewhere where he had a coach that, utilized him a lot, and he's going to be in a new team in a new environment? Like, which one does he want? And I guess the biggest question is, how ready is Tyreek Hill going to be at the start of the season? Like, I know that 70% of Tyreek is better than a lot of wide receivers in the NFL, but like, truthfully, what does that look like for Tyreek though, in terms of like health wise, getting, into football shape? Cause he had a pretty nasty knee injury, and how much is that going to affect him? And then from there, it's like, okay, what team is going to be patient enough to let him get healthy? Like, is there going to be one of these two teams giving him a 3-year deal? Well, one of them is more or less of like going to get you like back into playing football, and then your second year is really like when we full swing go for it. Or is it going to be a 1-year prove it deal off of a major knee injury? I think which team is going to take the gamble on that is another big question. And if I had to choose between the two, I think he would go with the Chiefs just because of Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, Kelsey, Andy Reid. I feel like the way that he left wasn't personal, it was business, and he would come back with open arms for the Chiefs. And ironically enough, the Chiefs would have an opening for receiver because of the uncertainty with Rashee Rice. So,
and I'm going to mean no disrespect when I say this, because again, Tyreek Hill on one leg still faster than me on 2 legs. And even if I were to lose like 20 pounds, he'd still outrun me any way whatsoever. But nobody's scared of Tyreek Hill anymore. So again, I don't have a preference on who I still think it's Kansas City, but I don't think this is Tyreek of old, when you hear Chris Harris and Aqib Talib talk about, hey, we wore a pedometer during the game and we ran over like 6 miles trying to cover the dude. I think those days are done for him. But again, he still could bring value to either or, right? So again, it's one of those where I'm not too worried about where he goes. I still think Xavier Worthy could end up being that guy for the Chiefs at some point. So yeah, but I also thought it would be really cool to hear your guys' takes, because I thought it was funny that everything's kind of pointing towards, former coach,
Yep.
So that's kind of fun. But I do real quick, give us a breakdown of this Travis Kelce contract real quick. I forgot to put it in the notes, but I know people have been, hey, he's playing 3 more years, when he's not.
No, it's just it's cap manipulation. That's all it is. And it's shame on for all the national media for putting it out that way and just leaving it blank and leaving everyone to believe that it's just a 3-year deal. It's not going to happen no matter what. It's a 1-year, $12 million deal, can be up to 15. The extra 2 years are just dummy years. It makes it so his cap hit this year is only like $5 million. That's all it is. It eases the burden of the cap hit now. Again, the Chiefs could pick up that year next year. They're not going to do it because that'll trigger a $40 million guarantee. So it's not. It's not going to happen. This was just Chiefs' way, Travis's way of making the cap hit small this year. But it also opens the door for the Chiefs doing year-by-year deals with him. If he comes out, balls out, isn't quite ready to hang it up yet, they can do another probably similar deal. What'll happen is they'll decline the option, all that stuff will go away, and they'll probably do a similar deal to ease the cap hit and whatnot. So it is, all intents purposes, a 1-year deal worth up to $15 million. The extra years are void years, dummy years, poison years, however, whatever terminology you guys use. I've seen them all. Those are just there to make sure the cap hit this year was as small as it could be.
What are you laughing at?
He's living every man's dream. He's got the ultimate sugar mama. So again, sure, he's making his own money, but she's kind of like, don't worry about it, boo. I got you. So yeah, it's one of those. And I'm laughing because my dog Shaq's attacking his duck, so I'm hearing a quack, just out of nowhere, doing his thing. But all right, so for this one, we got remaining free agents. So what I want to do is I'm going to name this player, and we're just going to go down the line. So when I say your name, just kind of give me who you think this player may end up being a good fit for. Not saying that's who you think or we think they're going to sign with. It's more of who do you think that who do you think that they may end up with. So Cody, starting with you. Jawan Jennings, wide receiver.
That's a good one. Honestly, the Raiders actually would be a pretty good one for a veteran receiver, as we've been talking about. And I think the reason why is because he doesn't have any off the field drama, which there's a player on here that I know you're going to get to. And then he's also been a number 1 guy, but he doesn't have to be the number 1 everyday guy. And I feel like he'd also fit in with Clint Kubiak's offense.
Austin Taylor Decker.
Taylor Decker. Shit, I was thinking Juwan Jennings. Taylor Decker. Give me kind of just my personal preference. Give me the Chiefs.
Caleb, Stephon Diggs.
Ooh, the Chargers.
No, I'll pass. Oh man. I'll go the Ravens.
Okay.
That'd be some
Cody.
dysfunction.
Joel Bitonio. Sorry, Caleb. I was trying to match it up with you on that one, but
You're good.
I'll give it to Cody instead.
You know what? He would fit really well on the Patriots. I know that Will Campbell at guard is a big question. I feel like him as a veteran presence to help in that rotation would be a pretty good pickup for the Patriots if they can afford it. So I'd go there.
And I'm going to be on record that Will Campbell's not going to play any guard at all this season. He's going to stay at left tackle. They're not going to give up on him that quick. If it was a different coach, yes, but Mike Vrabel's not going to give up on him. Austin, Joey Bosa.
Nice.
Far away from me. As far away as possible. Just for storyline purposes, Niners.
Corey, David Njoku, Denver.
I see how that went.
Cody, Deebo Samuel.
Give me 9.
Shoot, that's a good one. I don't know. I think for a team that's like looking to sign players that might be on something, maybe like Miami Dolphins, maybe to get some sort of like veteran presence for Malik Willis, I think would be a good signing. And he's only got a few years left. I think he's just going to get a bag and just end his career on that.
Easy enough. And then Caleb, Cam Robinson, tackle.
Ooh.
That's another tough one. I'm gonna go. Shoot, who needs a tackle now? I would say probably Dalton. Say that again.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. That is true. I'd say Dolphins too with this one. You know, they kind of need to start building some pieces, and I think that would be good
to win 2 games.
Yeah.
To win 2, yeah. Austin, Trayvon Diggs.
Kansas City.
I was going to say the Chiefs.
1 year prove-it deal with the best defensive back coach in football. Get his value back. Win some games. Get great coaching.
Caleb, I'll throw you one. Kevin Zeitler.
Oh, I would love to have him. Chargers, baby.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There we go.
So now to kind of, okay, so those were just the remaining ones. I do want to hear everyone's kind of thoughts on, are there any more moves that you kind of want to see your teams make before we get to the draft at the end of the month? Cody?
I don't know if there's any player that I would want them to acquire. I think in terms of free agency, I'd like to see some additional veteran presence that's going to help in depth in some respects. I don't think we're going to solve all of our positional needs in the draft at all. I feel like we're going to need to have a couple of players that we need to add that's going to get us along for maybe next year's draft. I mean, again, like kind of Juwan Jennings is fine. Honestly, I would probably look at like someone in a safety position. That would be a really good like rotational piece because I think that's where the Raiders are going to go in the draft. But that would be the position of need I'd like to see if the Raiders can address in free agency if they can. So
I know you've actually off camera, we've talked about a few of the moves. Give me one of yours that you're really kind of thinking that you would like the Chiefs to do.
Well, on a mock draft, it was really easy for me to trade for Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. So that would be one. But I'd like to see him just bring in any kind of veteran edge that's not Joey Bosa. Whether it's, Cam Jordan, Calais Campbell, even if they get like a Hassan Reddick. Because even if we draft a young one, you're still going to need more, right? Like, you're fine with George. You're probably fine with Ashton Gelati, backing him up a little bit. But, like, we're going to bring in a rookie on the other side, and then what? So I'd like to just see some sort of veteran/productive, small-ish signing for edge. I like me more than the rest. I like the Chiefs roster. I'm okay with our receiver room. Like, we could use some depth across places, but we got some good draft capital. So to me, I think we just need a little more edge depth because we're going to need it even if we draft there.
Yeah, And again, there's one, David Njoku's for me. You know, I know Bronco fans keep talking Cam Jordan. Yeah, I'm okay with that as well. But again, we made the trade. I'm happy with what they're doing. I get what they're doing. We still have 7 draft picks, so we'll see what happens there. But I still tell Bronco fans they're going to sign people. It just may not be those like, you know, the eye-popping ones that are like, oh hell yeah. It's going to be the, you know, low level, mid level guys that can fill in. So go from there. Did I forget any of you? Caleb, go ahead.
So I don't think the Chargers are actually going to approach the line again, at least until after the draft. I think they're going to see what they can get in the draft before they try to get someone else. So with that being said, I would love for them to get another tight end. I know we got Charlie Collier and we got Aronde Gadsden, but we lost 3. So I wouldn't mind seeing us get someone like Jonnu Smith or pick Darren Waller up on a cheap deal, because there is a little familiarity there too. So I would love a move like that. Nothing crazy, nothing eye popping, just a good solid deal.
Yeah,
Didn't
I was
Jonnu
actually
Smith absolutely eat with Mike McDaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I really like that move. I would
Like he absolutely ate. Like he was elite that year with McDaniel. Okay, I thought so.
That's why I'm hoping for that one, but I'll take.
I was going to say, I feel like Darren Waller is going to wind up as like a Charger, or I could see the Broncos maybe taking a flyer on Waller over Njoku if Njoku doesn't sign with the Broncos.
Nope. It would be Jonnu Smith or David Njoku, or Denver's going to be happy with the 4 tight ends they have. I just don't think Darren Waller's not it. Darren Waller's not a project that Sean Payton would want to take on. He's not, you know, he is injury prone, and he's not really the guy that, you know, would fit what Sean Payton's trying to do offensively. Now I get why you bring it up, because it's a tight end and Denver could use a tight end. I don't think that happens. And now that I say that, it probably will. So
that could be a good signing. That'd be a good red zone target.
I could see like that as like to spread the offense and not make it seem so. I don't want to say old school in a negative way, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Not as like, it would make it more modernized as the theme that you guys are trying to do this offseason.
By bringing in a 34-year-old tight end.
He still was pretty productive in Miami.
Nah, but either way, again, like I said, I know why you bring it up. I just, again, I could be wrong on this. I just don't think he fits the system of what Sean's trying to do. And again, Sean may just say, F it, we'll try it either way. But you already spent $30+ million on Ingram. You brought back Troutman. You can get, I mean, if Waller's going to come in for like $1 million, cool. Then that's a risk that I'd be like, cool, it's only $1 million. But if you're giving him anything what I think he would get, then no, that you don't do that. So let's spend the last few minutes here going through. Everyone's making fun of Cody. Raiders stacked.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So, and then Brody wanted to know, why didn't the Raiders keep Spillane?
I mean, new regime change. Pete Carroll came in. I know Patrick Graham, that was his guy that he helped bring in. Patriots obviously were building something, and Spillane, of course, having a connection with why am I forgetting his name? Head coach. God. With Vrabel. Yeah. So I think that's why. And I'm sure the Raiders miss him, but you know, it is what it is.
Xavier Worthy's just another John Ross.
That's not true.
That's disrespect.
And then Salute. He's brought a couple good questions. I can't wait to get a couple of these. Yeah, right here. So this is obviously for Cody.
Mm-hmm.
What would you prefer to do in the draft? 1, Mendoza at 1, 2, trade down, acquire extra capital and take Ty Simpson, or 3, trade down and get extra capital and get a QB in 2027?
See, we've had this conversation a couple of times. I'm at the point now, and I've gone back and forth on this. I've shared that with you guys. I'm at the point now where just take Mendoza number 1. It is what it is, and then just go that way. I feel like we're at the point now where if we were entertaining trading away the number 1 overall pick, we would have done it by now. I don't feel like you go 3 weeks before the draft, then all of a sudden you float it around there. That's kind of poor planning. Now, I know we've seen this on ESPN where, you know, whatever his face, Dan Orlovsky is basically saying that Ty Simpson is better than Mendoza. And I'm sure now that's bringing up the question even more within Raider fans. But honestly, I would still say just draft Mendoza number 1, build out what you have, because the likelihood of you hitting on a Ty Simpson, and yeah, sure, you built out an extra first round pick. That's still like, we need to make sure that hits. But the one important position that we've been missing the last several seasons since, and I would even argue since Derek Carr left, is a quarterback. So just draft the quarterback and just do your thing in the draft. Like, we're too close now to the draft to all of a sudden be like, oh, let's entertain this. Like, that ship has sailed. Let's move on. It's going to be Mendoza. It makes the most sense. And he did actually really well in the college football season, at least in the playoffs, in my opinion. And it is what it is. Like, if he's a bust, he's going to be a bust, but just stick with it and roll with it. So,
well, I think if he's a bust, it's because the Raiders let him become a bust. I think it's because the Raiders didn't do what they needed to do as far as, yes, you brought in the center, but again, you got to get that line figured out, because again, Gentine, Bowers, Trey Tucker, Thornton, Besh, I mean, those guys, that's a good skill position around him. Now it's just the big uglies up front that Austin always talks about, similar to what the Chiefs. Big uglies are cool, but you got to have a pass rush on defense, and the Chiefs don't have that right now. So again, each one of our teams none of us have a perfect roster. Like, I get the Raiders spent almost $200 million, but they're far from a perfect roster. Yes, the Chargers went out and, center a couple pieces here and there. There's still a lot of holes that they have left to fill. Denver, we traded for Waddle, and we brought back literally the whole offense and defense from last year, minus Dre Greenlaw and PJ Locke. Far from perfect. So I like, to what Cody's saying, you have to take chances with some of these draft picks. Like, we're not in one of those where we can't start looking at 2027 right now. That's not none of our teams are in a position where, hey, we can already look forward to 2027. That's just not at all.
Cody says.
Well, Cody can already look to 2027.
I'm the closest to it.
And I mean, again, I appreciate your comments as well. So the concern with Mendoza's ability to throw over the middle, which is where a majority of the NFL games is played at, but you're going to have some guys that can take the top off as well. And Brock Bowers, they'll find a way. Do you have any thoughts on the middle of the field? I mean, we watched Mendoza pretty much the whole season. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of, but you also have to think about Kubiak. There's going to be a lot of motion, a lot of boots, things like that as well. And that's something that he can work on, throwing over the middle. But, he has the intangibles. He's showed out in big stages. And that big stage, he threw, again, I didn't watch a lot of Indiana games, watched their playoffs, though. And time after time, not only did he make big throws, but he actually throws a pretty damn nice deep ball. Again, you're going to have the receivers to go make plays like Indiana had, like his roommate. That dude's going to be a great draft pick in a year or two.
Could be a Raider, too.
Yeah. But again, this probably isn't the best quarterback prospect to go number 1 overall for a few years. But at the end of the day, I do still think he has enough. And you've heard me specifically, I trust coaching a lot. And Kubiak and his entire family has a good track record. So, even if he doesn't turn out to be, the superstar all-pro, given their coaching staff, I think he has a very good floor with that staff. Is it going to be what the Raiders want? Maybe not. Is it going to be one of those where he does okay with the Raiders, not enough for them to keep him, and then he goes to the Colts, gets paid $140 million and does well? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I trust Kubiak. And I hate saying that because I don't like the Raiders, but until Kubes fails somewhere, I kind of like whatever quarterback they decide to go with.
My thoughts on this are, I agree. I think Kubiak, I think he'll have a really, really good system in place for him. And ultimately, I mean, I think that Mendoza is going to be, I think he'll be really good in the NFL if they keep him healthy, if I'm being real with you. But yeah, I think you draft him regardless.
He was tough as nails, though.
He was. He really was.
I know it's different in the NFL, but he's tough as nails.
And I do want to say this, and Cody, you can probably agree with me here. I don't want – he seems like a good dude. He really does. I don't want Raider Nation to turn on him the very first second that he does something
read my mind
really bad.
So
because I feel like that it happens often.
100%. And like we had on Monday, we had our overreaction offseason post. And one of the questions that I had put in there specifically for the Raiders was like, Clint Kubiak is going to have the most pressure amongst the AFC coaches to succeed. Why? Not because of the inner circles within the NFL, the fan base. Like the fan base will cut you dry like after 5 weeks. They called for Pete Carroll's head, and now granted, like that just turned out the way it did. Like Geno Smith wasn't doing what he was doing. They cut him off like immediately. Same thing with Antonio Pierce, who I believe should have gotten more than just a 1-year opportunity to prove that he can be a coach. Now, I think what the Raiders are doing now with Clint Kubiak, John Spytek, with Tom Brady kind of helping lead the football operations side, is they're doing things that kind of would prepare an incoming rookie quarterback to succeed. Like, and I don't want to use Brody's Bears as an example to beat up on him, but you can make the argument that they had 2 quarterbacks that they kind of messed up because of how they brought them in, Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields. Like no offensive line, coaches that were on their way out that drafted him out of desperation for both of them. Justin Fields, the latest one. And you can very much make the argument that because of the poor infrastructure with the Bears and Justin Fields, they broke him. Like, I don't think he's as bad as a quarterback as he could have been had he had support. Now, what the Raiders are doing, getting the best center that they could essentially buy in free agency, getting the offensive coordinator that just won a Super Bowl. You give him the coaching staff that he wants. You bring in a quarterback coach that has ties to helping out Eli Manning and other organizations, and a 30-year quarterback vet that has proven track record. You do everything you can to set up this incoming quarterback. And just like what Corey and Caleb and everyone is saying is, it's on the coaching staff to not ruin him. Like, he's coming in with grit. He's coming in with heart, but it could very easily be wrecked by a poor ownership, poor management, poor coaching. And the Raiders are doing everything on paper to support that, or to support Mendoza to be successful. But the Raiders have a bad track record of success, which is why we have the number 1 overall pick. So the likelihood that we need to hit on this, the margins aren't very high for error on this one. Like this has to be a home run on all fronts. And if we mess this up, we're just the same old thing that we've been for 25 years.
Wasn't it KOC that said organizations fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail them?
I believe it. And here's the funny thing. KOC is going to get a quarterback that you can make the argument that he failed the organization or vice versa. And he actually might put him on the track record to have a better end to his career now, rather than how it ended in Arizona, ironically enough. So,
yeah.
Bush Raider, I see you over there in the comments, buddy. We really do appreciate all of those.
Shout out to you, Raider Nation. Shout out.
Yeah. So again, if you guys are new in here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Cody, go ahead and let's do you guys got anything else as we wrap up tonight?
Raider suck.
Hell yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for watching West War Room Rivals. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. Shout out to Bush Raider 1986 for hanging out with us and posting great comments. Shout out to Brody, Nacho Fry, Mama Shovik in the comments. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Also, like what Corey said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Shout out to Field Ops, Troy and the crew, my fellow Raider. Thank you for your day one support. Angie and her team at Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and Jeff and the crew from JBW Solutions as we were recording out of the JBW Solutions studios. Don't forget, guys, season 2 is #BeAFan. So drop in the comments down below what being a fan means to you for your favorite team. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you.
Miss you, Matt.